What our technology does is it makes advertising easy. If you've ever built a Facebook ad, it's like 45 steps. So what we kind of did is built like a Facebook ads for dummies. We took 45 steps and we made it into 4 steps. And everything is not like a Facebook ad objective, it's a real estate ad objective.
Welcome to a new episode of Real Estate vs. Technology. I'm your host, Norman Kinsey. Today, Dan Gandy's out in a couple meetings, so I'll be hosting the podcast today. And I want to say a big thanks to Liftoff Agent for sponsoring the show. Make sure to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and we'll love to get your feedback on our show. Today, we want to bring someone in that's been in the industry for quite a while. And if you're someone out there in the marketplace that's looking to potentially bring in additional lead generation and want to get yourself out there and don't have a big budget, then you're going to want to listen up, because we have the one and only Grant Wise on the show today with Witly. Super excited to have you on the show, man.
Yeah, what's up, man? Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
Of course. We were just talking before we got on air. It's been about 4 years since I seen you back in San Francisco. Yeah. It's been a little while. I think it was before COVID times, and now COVID has happened and the market shifted a little bit. It's been kind of crazy with the highs and lows of this market, but how's everything going for you this morning or now afternoon?
It's going fantastic, man. I mean, I think the market is in a place where you've got to have a lot of grit.
Yes.
And you gotta be willing to do a lot of hard work. But I always joke with people, like I grew up on a farm. So like we had to dig holes and haul hay and do like actual like really hard work. I think this is a different kind of hard, maybe. Yeah. So I'm I feel blessed. I don't have it as hard as I used to.
Yeah.
But, it's interesting. It's an interesting time in the real estate space. That's for sure.
It definitely is, for sure. And amen to that. It's nice when you can start having your SOPs and your KPIs and the income producing stuff just kind of work on autopilot. And I think a lot of viewers and listeners out there may be going through things where they just don't really know what to do and what's next for them. So let's get a little bit into your resume so people know a little bit about Witly, your background. I mean, you're a powerhouse. You've helped thousands of agents over the years. And what you do now with this new software, Dan Gandy actually was curious in it and wanted to bring you on the show to share with basically our listeners and viewers of Real Estate vs. Technology. So just in a nutshell, give me your background, man. Anyone who doesn't know Grant Wise, why real estate? What are you up to?
Yeah, I got started in the real estate space about 10 years ago. I think it was 2014. Yeah. And I started as a training company, and I call it a company. Like I started training people. I didn't have a company, but I got around the right people, built that company into a multi-million-dollar training company in just a couple of years, and then noticed a really big problem, a really big common theme in all of the agents that we were working with at the time. And that was technology was doing this. Like it was hard then. It's even harder now as people have these tech stacks that look like spider webs. And I said, I think it was 2017. I'm like, surely there's an easier way to do advertising. Surely we can make this easier on people. I didn't really want to start a marketing agency because it's a very heavy business model. Yeah. And somebody introduced me to the idea of software as a service. I was like, well, that's really interesting. We could build software that would do advertising for people. Okay. Like started going down that path. And in 2017, we released the first version of our software platform that would do advertising for real estate agents. Everybody absolutely loved it because it saved the individual hours and hours a week when it came to lead gen and remarketing and funnels and all that other stuff. And that's what I've been doing since 17 is just building a technology company to help make advertising easier for real estate agents. And then my day job is more consulting. So I spend a lot of my time with top 1% team leaders throughout the US and Canada, consulting them on how to grow their organization's marketing, advertising, and sales. And I have an amazing team that is just crushing it with Witly. They've built a great technology, and it's really helping. It's helping the realtor. I don't think that getting customers should be so hard, because most real estate agents are more like artists. Like they love working with people. They love showing houses. They love negotiating. They love like the art of what it is that they do. But if you're not any good at marketing, advertising, and sales, you don't get to paint very much, if you get what I'm saying. And so
Yeah.
we just try to make advertising really easy. So that way it's not so hard for people to get customers.
That's awesome. Yeah. In today's day and age, things have shifted so much. It's like, okay, what platform do you need to be on? And then who are you marketing to? And then there's the YouTube passive prospecting. And on the Liftoff agent side that sponsors the show, we went to the agency route, and it is very heavy. And so I commend you for the route that you went. And that's awesome that you're working with all these amazing individuals. I saw you with John Cheplak. He's amazing. He's crushing it. And really just adding a lot of value, where I feel like notoriety wise, if you know you, right? If you know Grant Wise, you know him. But I feel like, you're almost like a secret weapon. Not a whole lot of people know about you. And that's why we're excited to have you on the show. So let's talk a little bit about the software, whoever's listening and viewing right now that maybe is dealing with the fact of they're spider web, all right? And they're just like tech stack, spider web. They're all over the place. They got to get more focused. So what does it look like? How does it work?
Taking a step back, the real estate game is very simple. You need to be able to generate leads. You need to be able to build a relationship with those leads, and then you need to be able to convert those leads. Okay. Definitely. So it's not necessarily a complex process. There's just so many different ways that you can apply lead gen. You could cold call, you could door knock, you could put out content, you could buy leads, you could generate your own leads. There's a lot of applications. Building a relationship, you can pick up the phone and call, you can text, you can go face to face, you can put out video content, you can buy billboards, radio, TV. There's a lot of applications. And then there's the conversion elements of that. It's just long sustained periods of follow-up activity with people that are likely to transact. So I've kind of set the scene for these are the three things that you need to be able to do in real estate. What our technology does is it makes advertising easy, makes advertising on Facebook. And we're literally they'd probably kill me for saying this, about to hit Google. So we'll be able to handle PPC. So what we've done is we've gone, if you've ever built a Facebook ad, it's like 45 steps. And it's so confusing because you don't know what buttons to click or what not to click in order to run successful advertising campaigns. So what we kind of did is built like a Facebook ads for dummies. We took 45 steps and we made it into 4 steps. And everything is not like a Facebook ad objective. It's a real estate ad objective. So if you want to run an ad to get leads for a listing, you go in and press the listing button and you market your listing in 4 steps. If you want to get seller leads, you go in and click the seller lead button, and then you go through those 4 steps. And we just make advertising easy. So instead of going out there and running through the really complicated process of setting up your own Facebook ads, we've made it unbelievably simple. And we just manage all of the changes with Facebook in the back end. So no more technology hurdles, no more ad decline issues, no more lack of support, right? If you're ever in a Facebook ad and you don't know what to do, you have to go spend hours on YouTube. You don't have to do that because you can just like, hey, team member, I'm having an issue. Oh, no problem. Here's how to fix that. So it's just doing away with all the struggles. Real estate agents are so busy. You've got an average of 40 different. No. You have an average. Realtors have an average of 20 different job roles, responsibilities. So when do you have time to manage the challenges that come with generating your own business? Well, you really don't. So we just wanted to simplify that problem.
Wow, that's huge. I remember Dan Getty and I were talking a little bit about the service and how it works. And all the things that you're saying it's so much easier for him because instead of having to go through the process of needing to do the A/B testing and then the copy and then all the things, like you make it a lot easier for individuals out there. So if you're viewing and listening and that resonates with you, then you're going to definitely check the links down below. We'll have those there for you so you can check them out. And so as far as the process of like getting started, going through it, like, I hear a lot going on as far as you say things like, like no cost to them. Like how does that work? So I'm an agent, I don't have much of a budget, right? And I want to do ads. I want to bring in leads. Like let's go a little deeper with that.
It's not like this isn't an earth-shattering concept, right? I mean, we could look back in the industry. Most people have some type of co-marketing relationship where they've got a lender that maybe contributes to their spend. They've got an insurance agent that maybe contributes to their spend. What we've gotten really, really good at is going beyond the mortgage and insurance industries to contractors, roofers, painters, solar companies, cleaning companies, moving companies. There's
Yeah.
18 different industries that rely on real estate agents for business.
Okay.
And typically what that means is, hey, Mr. Realtor, give me your referrals. And if I ever have a referral, I'll send one back your way too, but nobody ever reciprocates that. So what we've gotten really good at is identifying partnership opportunities for realtors in local markets so that we teach them how to do this themselves so that they can go to the 18 different industries in their local community that need leads. And they're currently buying leads from, Angie's List or Home Advisor or House or Thumbtack. And they're as upset with those companies as realtors are with Zillow. And we help them form partnerships. So that way the real estate agent can grow their business without the typical constraints on their cash flow. Because if you go spend $1,000 in advertising on Facebook or PPC, it could take you anywhere from 3 to 18 months to get the money back. So that means you're making a conscious choice to go net negative every month until you finally close the deal and you recoup that. So what if that wasn't an issue? What if you could get money from local service providers that want to partner with you and you could use their money to grow your business? That's really, I think, a powerful new thing that I say it's not new. Like this isn't earth shattering. We've just figured out a different way to help people go about co-marketing because it goes beyond the lending relationship and it really goes into all of the other industries. So we have a client in Tennessee. First month we started working with him, we generated $14,000 in co-marketing relationships.
Wow.
And we split everything with them 50-50 whenever we set up the co-marketing relationship. So he got 7,000. Obviously we split everything. But that's $7,000 that he's able to apply right to his bottom line.
That's amazing.
It's money that's free and clear that he's now using for advertising. So instead of going negative $7,000, he's net zero cost, and he still gets all the leads, and he still gets all the remarketing benefits. And so I think it's just a powerful thing in this state of the market, like in this current market. Even top teams are losing money in some regards. Not all of them. Some of them are profitable, but so that's like, how can we get creative and continue to make investments to grow our organizations without having to worry about these constraints on cash flow going negative every month? So I find that most organizations that I get in and consult for, 47% ish of their business comes from their sphere of influence, but almost 100% of their money is being spent on lead generation and sales and all these other activities. So if you can eliminate that overhead, you immediately and pretty dramatically increase profitability. And it makes it so that agents aren't having to go negative every month to grow their business. I go back to my original, like my core thing is like, I don't think it should be so hard to grow a business.
No.
When like at agents' very nature, they just want to help people. Like I've had people in tears with me on the phone for like, I just don't understand why it's got to be so hard when all I want to do is help people. And that's what we really care about, just reducing the level of friction in business growth through technology and through what it is that we're doing with co-marketing.
Dude, genius. First off, super smart. I love the idea of just being able to leverage the past efforts that they've already done. So when someone works with you, is it more so like, hey, okay, who are your preferred vendors for the 18 different points? And then is it the agent's responsibility or is it, Witly's responsibility of the team to reach out to start that co-marketing relationship?
We take that on. So for some people, they've had these relationships for a long time, even maybe are already getting money, but there's no like formal way to track it. So we kind of formalize the relationships in a way that make it a lot more valuable. And then for some people, they're like, I don't know who I could follow up with. We're getting really, really, really good at just getting co-marketing partners so the agent doesn't have to do anything. So you just keep focusing on growing your business. We'll go out and court these people into relationships. And we're creating really cool tools to help agents and team leaders value their businesses. So you have so many followers on social media, that's valuable. You have so many email subscribers, that's valuable. You have so many agents on your team, that's valuable. You have so many transactions you do. How can you value that for like a moving company? Like we're building technology that allows us to say you could be getting $2,000 a month from a moving company, and here's how, and we'll go get the moving company. So agents don't need a second job, like there are agents, I think, that hustle and they drive Uber and they do these other things. Like, agents really just need to focus. So if we can go get cash flow for you, and then you stay focused on growing your business, that's win-win-win for everybody. So that's what we're getting really good at doing.
I love that. Yeah. Where attention goes, energy flows. I think a lot of these agents, they just don't really have the attention you want to help. That's fantastic. But you have to go deeper in that process of who specifically you want to help. And then get into the avatar conversations and all the things. But I love what you're doing to be able to add value, because a lot of agents, there's a lot of things, whether it's like after closing follow-up procedure, what does that look like? And we've had a great company on the show. I want to say Send Whitebox or Whitebox Send. Great company, and they were on our show because they help with after the transaction. I love what you all are doing to really be able to leverage the relationships of all the various components of an agent and what they would need to use anyways, because I can also see y'all going after, say, these different companies and saying, hey, like, we're going to have agents, they're going to want to partner with you. Would you like to be a part of X, Y, and Z? I mean, absolutely. If you think this is genius, comment below. We want to get your feedback right now, because I think this is actually something that it's a gap in the marketplace. And I got to say, Grant, like, hats off to you, because it's genius. You literally, that agents, they don't follow up. They just don't think about it like that. Like, a lot of agents, we actually say, hey, like, what is going to be your preferred vendors? Let's get a list together, put on your website, lead generation opportunity. That's more on the sponsor side for Liftoff. But I love how you guys are going and saying, hey, like, are you utilizing this opportunity? And like you said, a lot of these agents are like, I don't even know who to call for X, Y, and Z, which is a whole nother story as far as maybe your ideal client type and their successes with the platform itself. Because I think the ones that know who their preferred vendors are probably gonna have more success in the long haul. That's for a conversation. But I love that. And what does it look like just going a little bit deeper with the vendors? Are they just happy to work with y'all and they just love the model? And, just curious personally.
The thing that everybody values the most, and I think this is always so interesting, but I think that the real estate agent is the most valuable part of most equations.
Agreed.
This is why vendors are beating real estate agents' doors down. This is why ADT's probably called you, if you're listening to this, like 3 times today. Like, everybody values the relationship with the residential real estate agent, because while you are helping people like unlock the American dream of home ownership, you're also opening the door for these 18 different industries that need business. And they know that if they reach out to a realtor, you've got all the contacts, you've got all the connections, you're in the conversation with the homeowners. And so what we do is we work with the real estate team leaders, typically are who take the most advantage of this, but we work with the realtor and we help them develop a unique value proposition. We help value their business in a way where it's like, okay, now we know what to sell to the vendor. And then the vendor's really happy because they're getting social promotion. They're getting email promotion. They're getting invited into team meetings. They're getting introduced to, the agents on the team who are now like their sales team. They're loving it because it's like the best of all worlds. I could go buy a billboard and I'm going to get brand exposure, but it's just any Joe Schmo that's driving down the street. Whereas if I put my brand on an agent's website, that's targeted traffic. Those people have my ideal customer. So it's like the best of all advertising worlds mixed into one. As we went through this really long process of interviewing vendors for these programs, found that most people have the same complaints with Angie's List and House and Thumbtack as realtors do with Zillow, Realtor.com. It's like, well, I got to follow up with all these leads. Everybody wants the bottom of funnel right now opportunity. And so the way that we package it up, they love it because they know that when they're being referred business now from their new partner and they're investing in this relationship, that it's people that are ready to do business. They've done all the hard and heavy lifting. The contractor just has to show up and perform. And so I think it's a really fantastic opportunity. And with everything that's happening in regards to the FCC and lead generation and all the changes that are taking place with all of these different platforms and robo dialing and robo texting, I think the world is going to start looking for new ways to grow their business because some lead sources are going to go away. Yeah. And so it's interesting. It's really cool to see what's developing. These partnerships that are developing it's really unique.
That's awesome. No, it's so true too. Cause I feel like relationship building is the first and foremost thing you have to do to grow any business. And it's, I mean, how many calls do we get a day? Right. It's just absurd. Or, the junk mail that we get, and then we have to delete all the emails or unsubscribe and all the things. And, we know, and specifically, because you've been in this world for so long. I mean, ads, conversion of ads, everything have shifted so much. And so, if you're not a company like Grant, Wise owns and what have you, and you have the team behind you to go through all the analytics and all the specific logistics, I mean, good luck. Because agents out there, if you're going to be spending thousands of dollars in A/B testing, and then it takes away from the core competency. These agents can't do what they need to be doing when literally they can hire someone like yourself and your team and literally get it done for them. And then the fact that you can co-brand with local vendors is I think a knock out of the park, man. I gotta say, great work with what you put together.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
That's awesome. So give us a couple case studies, different type of things that you've seen. So if I'm a new agent, want to get in, I'm one of those agents, have no idea. I don't know my vendors. I have no idea. I'm a new agent. I do want to get myself out there. And then someone who's had success. So we can just, for people that are listening and watching, that can kind of relate to maybe a story or two to maybe get them to click the link and check you guys out, man.
Yeah. Well, I think that if you're a real estate team leader, I mean, we've absolutely crushed it with team leaders because they typically have an enormous amount of value to offer, right? Okay. They've built a brand, they've got a database, they've got a highly trafficked website, they have agents on their team, which can become almost like the pseudo salespeople for the different vendors that they're partnering with. And I mean, we've just absolutely dominated that specific part of the market. So probably one of my favorite stories is Gary Ashton. He's the number one, the Gary Ashton Real Estate Group's the number one RE/MAX team in the world in Nashville, Tennessee, and stepped into the market. We were more or less formalizing arrangements that they have. They have this gigantic sheet of vendors that they recommend all the time. It made our job really easy because I just picked up the phone and called the vendors and said, "Hey, do you want to be a partner with Gary Ashton?" Yes, of course. How's that work? And so that's an easier use case where agents or team leaders rather, they've already got a lot of the resources that make that really valuable. So then it's like, okay, well, I'm not a top team leader. I'm not number one in the world yet, Grant. How do I get there?
Yeah.
And I think you go back to the brand new agent that's just starting out. One of the things that you've got to recognize is that the number one most valuable thing that you will build in this industry is a database. And Gary, that story I just told about Gary being able to quickly get 14K a month and that continues to grow is because he built a database of over 300,000 potential home buyers and home sellers in the Tennessee market. Wow. That is worth its weight in absolute gold. So the number one thing that you can do as a real estate agent is build a database. How do you build a database? You just start generating leads. You get names, email addresses, phone numbers of people that are interested in buying, selling property in your local market. And you talk to them every day. you email market them every single day. You pick up the phone and call the people you can. You text the people you can. You just develop a relationship. This is how influencers become influencers. They start posting on social media. People start following them. They start engaging with them. It's the same principles. It's just you're doing it in a sales CRM versus doing it on social media. The number one most valuable thing that you could do in this industry is build a database. And the number one fastest way to do it is to just pay the ad bill. Even if you only have a couple $100s a month to get started with the advertising platform that we've got, we're helping people literally get leads for $1 to $3 a lead. Wow. And they're converting really consistently 1% to 3% of the leads that they generate. So 100 leads, $3 a lead, that's $300. If you close a deal, it's worth $9,000. Obviously it's extremely profitable. Even if your cost to get a customer is $1,000, that's an extremely valuable thing that you can do. So if you're a new agent, start building a database. And if you've already started, nurture the relationship you've got with that database. I don't know how many teams I step into in the United States and Canada. How many marketing emails are you sending a month? 1.
Wow.
What? I send an email every single day to the database because there's renting media, which is what most real estate agents do to Zillow and Realtor.com and Facebook. You're paying rent. What happens if you stop paying the rent? You get kicked out. Then there's owned media, which is when you own the name, the email, the phone number, and you can talk to that person every single day. Start building a database And you'll notice, I think there was a floating statistic that's like 5% of an agent's database will sell in like the next 12 months or something like that. I heard that earlier this year, which is
Yeah.
insane.
Yeah.
Start building a gigantic database of prospects. It not only makes your business more valuable for transacting, but it also makes you more attractive to a roofer, a lender, an insurance agent, a solar company that would maybe want to come in and partner with you through co-marketing.
Yeah.
And so it's I think it's one of the most powerful things that you can do. It feels like a cheat code, but like these are the tools that we've got available to us today. And if you can just pay the ad bill, what you used to be able to do in 2 to 3 years in real estate, you can do in 2 to 3 months. The average income of a first year agent is $8,000. Second year is $8,000. Third year is 16. So if you're bent on doing this on your own, you're not going to go join a team, which I also do recommend if you're brand new. Just make the investments, because you can put yourself in a position where you're making 50 grand in 2, 3, 4 months. If there's a lot of missing context to that, but if you're generating the leads and if you're following up and if you're nurturing the relationships, and that's what makes you valuable and attractive to vendors that would want to partner with you.
That's huge. That's huge. And just anyone who's like, I don't have a database, I don't know who anyone wants to buy. It's like, honestly, you know, your phone, your Google contacts, I mean, your iPhone, go to your email. I mean, you go to contacts and email if you have a Gmail, and like there's hundreds, if not thousands of conversations I feel like everyone out there has had. And so it's just like, there's people out there, and even if you just need to call throughout your whole entire database, why not? And then definitely links down below. Check out Witly. This is, I mean, it sounds like you could help both sides of the coin. A little easier for teams, established teams that have, you know, buyer agents, seller agents, or who do both. And also there's opportunities for newer agents as well. It sounds like, at $300 a month, you're not going to be breaking the bank too much, which is awesome. And that's what we want to do here at Real Estate First Tech, is give individuals, coaches, technology providers, top performing real estate professionals, some techniques to help people have more success. So we're coming to the end of the show now here, Grant, and we love to just end the show out with anything, you know, something you have going on, final thought you want to leave for our viewers and listeners that potentially could be the trigger to help them, I don't know, take their business to the next level. But I want to go ahead and give you the stage, and anything that you want to leave for our viewers and listeners as we close out today's show.
You know, I have a podcast. It's the Grant Wise Show. And the purpose of the show is to help ordinary people understand how to build extraordinary companies. And I've been able to interview some of the most successful real estate entrepreneurs in North America over the last several months. And I think what I would tell you is, like, life is hard, business is hard, being healthy is hard, growing your bank account's hard. But if you can just fall in love with doing the boring work, like just doing the little things well over a long sustained period of time. I just went and spent a week living with a team leader in Nashville in Tennessee. And when I came back, I wrote a newsletter called the Billion Dollar Basics. And some of the most successful organizations that you are a part of, or that you've seen, or that are influencing your decisions right now, they got so unbelievably good at just doing one thing. And then once they reached a certain level of success, they diversified and they started doing lots of things. And I think that's the way that most people build wealth too. Just go all in and focus on the one thing that you know is going to get you where you want to go. Get addicted to the boring work and just do it really well over a long sustained period of time. It's going to be hard, but like being broke's hard too. Like being out of shape is really hard too. Like both of these things are going to be hard. So just pick which hard you want to live with, and then like stop falling in love with every new shiny object. Just get addicted to the boring work. Being successful is boring, is what Tina Call told me in an interview. It's like, you just got to do the little things really well over a long period of time. And most people won't do that. So I don't know. That's probably my parting piece of wisdom. Just do the boring work and do it really well. You'll be mega successful in this industry if you can do it.
Dude, awesome, man. Mic drop. I love it. And it's so true, right? It's like, it's the hard stuff that you did when you were at the beginning that are the things that, like, some of the things I miss personally, you know, and you get to a certain point of success. It's kind of like, you know, you got to stay consistent, right? So you always have goals, want to grow, want to get larger, whatever, but it's easier, I guess you could say, in a sense, where like you have the systems, the processes, the team, you're guaranteed a paycheck, or, you know, bonuses, whatever, right? However you pay yourself out there. And so I love enjoying the process, and well put, man. And thanks so much for your time today. Really do appreciate it. Go check out Grant Wise podcasts, go check out Witly, and we appreciate your time today, man.
Thanks, man.
Of course. And to all our viewers and listeners out there, thanks so much for tuning in to a new show of Real Estate versus Technology. Hope you enjoyed everything from Grant Wise today. Please like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. See you all on the next one.